Hi Chris, welcome on our podcast Parlons Arts. It's a pleasure to have you. We saw your film Appofeniacs yesterday. It was really great. We appreciate it a lot.
Oh,
so
awesome.
We
Merci.
have a lot of questions for you. That's the first time you come to the PIFFF festival. Are you excited to be here to present your film?
Yeah, very excited. Yeah, first PIFFF, my first time in Paris. So
okay,
yeah.
Okay, in France too.
First time in France.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah, so this has been really cool.
Okay, and did you feel the energy yesterday with the public, the crowd, the enthusiasm about the film?
Oh no, that was very awesome. Especially because so this is the first time screening the film for a non-English speaking audience.
Yes.
You know,
okay.
Even though you speak it pretty good, but like obviously it's not your native language. So this is the first time screening it for people who speak a different language and having the subtitles and whatnot. So I just didn't know what to expect. So you go into a little nervous,
yes.
a little curious, a little unsure. Also, as an American, like I kind of put a French audience kind of on a pedestal, because you guys take art a lot more serious than not that we don't take it seriously, but you have a reputation for your respect of art, so and entertainment and just and anything on that level, so. So I went into it very just like curious and unsure and hopeful, and it was very gratifying to hear like a response and people laugh at jokes. That was very cool. So obviously, like any of the tension or any of the kills and obviously those moments are important for me to see that it connects, and that there is like a response. But hearing laughter to several moments was very
it's
cool.
Important for you. Yes,
Yeah. And because you don't necessarily because you always hear stories of like certain comedy just not translating, or just different senses of humor, so it was very cool to hear so many moments of laughter where it's like, okay, cool. Yeah, we're all similar on certain levels like that. So that's cool.
And we saw your enthusiasm just yesterday to present the film. So I think it's connected to this feeling to present the film.
Right on.
The film starts with the definition of apophenia. Is that right? Yep. Yes. Tendency to perceive meaningful connection between unrelated things. Is that fun to you to imagine first a crazy bloody sequence, and after that, what's the cause of all of that?
Correct. Yeah. So, because apophenia is a very interesting human trait. We all tend to want to push meaning on things, even if there is no meaning there, and we all take the little chunks of information that we get and we create our perception, and we analyze it and we come to our own conclusions. A lot of times we force our own opinions and our own biases onto that conclusion. Sometimes sometimes consciously, a lot of times unwittingly, and so that aspect I always just find really interesting, even just through social media, through news, even just through interactions with friends and other people. It's always interesting to see how people form their perspectives and how they push it upon certain things. So I thought that it was a concept ripe for creating a fun horror, and then I also felt like it was a great way to explore deepfakes because
yes, of course,
because deepfakes really like play into that vulnerability that we have.
You have a long career as a director of clip, like Keys, Britney Spears, Avril Lavigne, etc. And we see in your film some of sequence link with the clip gimmicks like fast editing, etc. Is that still an influence your career?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's I think it's probably just kind of ingrained in me, Okay. Definitely, I love music, and music definitely motivates a lot of my decisions. As far as I would say as far as writing, directing, and editing, because when it comes to the initial stage of writing, there are multiple songs that are in the film that were a part of my very first draft. Maybe not. Yeah, first-ish draft. Yeah, definitely early on. That I would put them in. So, so music is a driving force behind a lot of levels of the movie making process for me. So that could be something that is sometimes a conscious decision, and other times it's just a subconscious thing that it's just the way that I work. I mean, just maybe through comfortability, and other times just through my enthusiasm and appreciation of it.
So your film and influencer use a lot of deepfake, AI, etc. And do you think it has a role to teach us, to the spectator, how it works and what are the inconvenients, etc.?
I mean, I think that that's kind of. I feel like movies as a whole kind of have a role in exploring just like human nature and just the different aspects of our society. You know, it's a way for us to try to break down certain intricacies and just aspects of our lives. We use movies to tell stories, to kind of understand ourselves, to try to anticipate the future, to reflect on the past. I would say that I think like an objective that I had when I went into writing it is I didn't want to make a film that is like trying to be an like overly cautionary tale and trying I didn't want to go down a path of being like overly dramatic and preachy or trying to teach anything per se. My objective was to make an entertaining film. But at the core of it, it was just one of those things where at the core of it, it's that the technology is scary. You know, so I knew to trust the fact that like the deepfakes and these kind of scenarios I'm creating, you'll get the message from that. My objective was not to make the film about the message.
Just to make fun.
Just to make an entertaining film. Yeah. You know, crank the dial to like 11 and have like a lot of fun with it. But you know, but the message is definitely there, and you can take it and afterwards, you know, have your conversations, think about the scenarios, think about how they could relate to your life in different ways like that, and kind of then you can explore it and expand upon the message. That was my goal. But yes, I do to kind of to go back to answering your question. I think that movies play a role in doing that. I don't think that is a necessary objective. I think that you can make a very entertaining story. Every filmmaker in every movie has like a different intention, sometimes multiple intentions. And I totally respect and I enjoy and appreciate a lot of films that have the objective of being more of that message. And in my case, like I wanted that to be more of like a fun takeaway. And instead of like a heavy focus.
You said yesterday that there is a lot of deepfake in your film, but that's not real deepfake. You filmed it.
Didn't do any. I shot everything real in this. I didn't use any. I didn't actually use any deepfake technology in mine.
So for you, it's important to create virtual things with real things.
I really wanted to, you know, I mean, I felt like it was also just very, like, who knows how things are going to go forward and, like, what we're going to, you know, like, expand upon in the industry and as far as what will be, like, overly embraced and whatnot. Hopefully things become, hopefully the technology is used in a fair way, you know? right now it's kind of iffy, you know. So I felt that I didn't want to go down that path, you know. I wanted to. It's also just more fun to do stuff real, like
the last sequence with a lot of blood, etc.
A lot of real blood, you know. Yeah, real blood, but yeah, practical blood, you know.
Of course, organic.
Yeah, because I would even say, because like I'm like AI technology, just like CG technology is awesome. Like it can do a lot of great stuff, but it's just a matter of like how it's going to be used and implemented, you know? And so I think that like having certain certain opinions and conversations right now, I think can change as like the industry like figures out correct ways of utilizing it, you know? Because I feel like even when like CG started coming around, right? I'm sure a lot of like practical enthusiasts and practical artists probably were not happy about CG taking their job, right?
Of course.
But we live in a time where CG has just always been a part of it, right? So we're a lot more accepting of it. So I try to have that mind frame of like, okay, well, how are we going to be in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, you know? It's easy to react a certain way to something new, and I try to always just have a mind frame of like not being so quick to judge, and being open to possibilities, and you know, and being hopeful that it'll be figured out and embraced in a good way. But at the end of the day, when you do shit for real, it's just more fun. Right. And like, and I've spent a lot of time giving, like, I want to give a shout out to my practical artists, like, Alyssa Holbrook, Ali Shehorn, and Ingrid Weeks. Like they were our practical effects team. And they did an amazing job. You know, this is a super indie film, and they came prepared, and they came ready to rock, and they delivered, right? And I'm so happy with what they did, and I'm so stoked that it like resonates and connects with people watching it. That being said, I also don't like it, and it's so easy to talk about them that I feel like I often don't give a shout out to my VFX team too.
Yes, it's
because
too.
They worked hard too, you know, and they did a great job. And I think that like the marriage of that is such an important thing, because I think that like we didn't go heavy on VFX. We did way more of a focus on practical, but VFX are in there a lot, and they're in there like in a very subtle way. They're in there in a subtle, small way. Obviously for budgetary reasons, it like that benefited the film, and it was the best way of achieving things on our budget. But also, like, I feel like when VFX it's way more seamless when, especially on a smaller budget, it's way more seamless when you have the practical elements for the VFX to work off of.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, you give them that
material, that organic material,
exactly, that tangible material to work with, and then they can do such a better job with like the lighting and the texture and all that, like to match that, as opposed to trying to create it. You know, when you have real blood for them to work off, real blood. Not real blood, but you know, when you have that to work off of, then your VFX team can be like, oh, cool, like we can match this, we can expand this, we can like, you know, we can fill in a little gap here and there and whatnot. And so they both did. You know, kudos. I've never said his last name out loud. Grant Pikla, maybe, or Peach. It's probably Pikla, but Grant from Spitshine VFX, like him and his team did it also. I want to give them a shout out, because they also did a great job.
They've done a great job.
Yeah.
I have just two more questions. Do you work now on your second feature film, and do you have any ideas?
Yeah. No, I am. It's going to be a slasher. Well, we'll see. Yes. We'll see if this is going to be my second film, but that's the one like I'm anticipating. You know, it's what I'm working on. So it's going to be a slasher, and There's not a whole lot more that I can say about it.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Keep it mysterious.
Yeah. There's some fun stuff that I want to do with it. So, so that's the goal.
Okay.
So, and it should be bloody and a good time.
Nice.
And so, yeah.
Okay. And the last question, the typical question of Parlons Arts, our podcast, is what is your favorite film released this year?
Ooh.
Do you have an idea?
Hang on. Let me look at Oh man, there was a lot of great films that came out. Okay, I'm going to list off a handful because I'm going to start with like an indie one. The Ugly Stepsister.
Okay. I don't know that one.
Okay.
I don't know that
The
one.
Ugly Stepsister is awesome.
Okay.
It is awesome. There's off camera. We got a little agreement. Yeah, dude. The Ugly Stepsister, and I'm terrible. I'm a terrible fan because I can't name the. I want to give the director a shout out, and Emily Lichfeldt.
Perfect.
Emily, I probably mispronounced your last name, but fantastic job.
Okay.
It's a twist on Cinderella. And it's got a fucking very some hardcore body horror.
Okay.
Great acting, great cinematography, just great directing. Like it's a good time. I mean, you have to be okay with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But in my theater, there was one dude who was just like he was ready to throw up during it.
Okay.
To a degree, but there was definitely a guy like in my row that was just like, oh, like it's very audibly just being super grossed out, and I loved it. There's some great moments there. Okay, so I'll run through this really fast. So that was great.
Maybe one last
one. Okay, I'm talking too long. Friendship is an awesome comedy. Bring Her Back was fucking fantastic. And then I loved Eddington.
Yes, of course.
Weapons.
Of course, Weapons.
One battle after another.
Okay, that's a lot.
Those are great. I loved Begonia. Okay, I'll stop there. But there's several.
Okay.
But yeah. Those were.
We'll keep that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Chris, for your participation to the podcast.
Yeah.
It was
Thank you for having
a pleasure. And
Merci.
have a good day, good festival, and
Thank
enjoy
you.
your day.
Good times.
Thank you.
Thank you.